Perfecto. Perfecto. Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. So today, I'm actually going to be cooking. It's going to be my first cooking video that I think I've ever done on a channel. So we'll see how it goes. Today I'm going to be kind of making a... You could kind of call it a Greek gyro / Greek salad chicken wrap / I don't know, it's a Greek dish, but I'm going to show you the ingredients first. So first, have these Joseph pita bread. Not my favorite brand, but I mean, they do the trick. Always better to get bread from like an actual Greek store. I wish I had my own grown cucumbers, but got some cucumber for the Greek salad. Also got some green pepper, green bell pepper, as you can see there. Pretty cheap at the store. Next up, got some red onion. Can never go wrong with the red onion, so I'll have to cut that up. Also got some tomatoes. These kind of looked like the most fresh, these kind of plum tomatoes, so using those. I think that's most of the veggies. Got some Kalamata olives, which are already pitted, which is great. So, but what I do recommend is cutting them up, just to make sure. And obviously some feta cheese, of course. Now for the type of chicken, you can do all different types. You can do chicken breast, chicken tenders. I'm just doing chicken thighs just because it's a little bit cheaper and it's kind of like, I don't know, I think it's better for a sandwich. And then lastly, I could have made my own vinaigrette or Greek dressing, but I went with this Ken's Simply vinaigrette. I preferred this one because it didn't have high fructose corn syrup. So, yep, those are the ingredients, and I'm going to start cutting up the chicken, and then I'm going to be seasoning it, that whole thing. So we're going to jump into that, and at the end I'll take a bite, I'll let you know how it tastes, and then we'll see from there if I end up making more channels. Now, one thing I do want to say, whenever you're cooking and you're cooking for yourself or maybe your partner, you always got to have a snack. And the reason I say that is every chef munches on something as they cook. It's just a well-known thing. I'm not saying I'm this crazy chef, but that's what they do. So I have a little potato chip, right? Perfecto. Perfecto. All right. I'm going to start. So here we go. All right, so I apologize for the mess here, but what we're going to do is we're going to get our knife out here, right? Got to be careful with the knife. Got our chicken thighs right here. So, gonna fill this off. Now, you don't necessarily need to cook all of them. I'm just doing it because Natalie is going to be working tomorrow, and I can also take this for lunch. So it's just gonna be easier just to make all of it. And I think all these chicken thighs together were like $9, which was not bad. Or I think it was $8. It was either $9 or $8. But anyways, pretty good price. So what I like to do is I like to just lay them out. I kind of open them up. There you go, you get to see the chicken. I like to open them up because then I can really season the entire part, which is great. Alright, so the next thing that I like to do with these chicken thighs, it's all preference based, but I do like to kind of remove some of the fatty parts, which I know, can add flavor, but Natalie and I definitely don't like too much fat on our chicken thighs. It is a dark meat. I didn't grow up eating chicken thighs. Mainly my family did kind of white meat. But I personally like chicken thighs. I think they're very tasty. I think if they're cooked right, they're very yummy. Now, I do prefer white meat over chicken thighs, but that doesn't mean that I think chicken thighs are gross. But, yep, so just cutting off all those excess parts, as well as some of the stuff on the side. All right. And these are boneless, so you can get bone in. You can also get the skin still on it. I find it much easier just to, get the skin and the bones off. All right, so now when that's done, what I could do is I could chop them up into small pieces, which is, a way to do that considering it's going to be a sandwich. Or what I can do is cook it, and then once it's cooked, I can cut it up and then do it that way. What I think I will do, just for the sake of the video, and just trying something that I don't always do, is I'm going to cut them up into pieces. I'm going to put them into this bowl, and then I'll season them all together. So we're going to do that. And I'm just doing like kind of little chunks of chicken. Now, chicken thighs sometimes are a little bit more annoying to cut, but that doesn't mean that they're like not going to cut, if that makes sense. So I'm almost doing like cubes of chicken. Again, it's all preference. I just think because of the size of the wraps, I'm just going to be doing like kind of cubes. And you just want to make sure that they're kind of cut, because sometimes if they're still all together, it can just be weird when you're cooking it. Not a big deal, but yep. So we're just gonna cut these up, getting that skin, and then I like to turn it. Now, this knife is not an amazing knife, but if you have an amazing knife, definitely use it. So, just going to keep cutting these. And this is, a Greek, I don't know if this is technically a Greek dish. And also, if you're making a Greek salad is kind of, it's very different than how people eat it here. Like if you go to Greece, the salads are very different. It's not what you think salads are here. It's not like a normal salad. Most Greek salads are kind of just very basic, where it's like oil, oregano, cucumbers, tomatoes, onions. And normally what you end up doing is you eat the salad with like typically dry bread, and you almost like, it becomes like a dipping kind of thing where I could almost compare it to like how, I don't even know what I would compare it to, but anyways, that's why we're doing it this way. So a lot of the time when I go out to restaurants, or like you go to like these small Greek pizza places, and you order a Greek salad, it's not the same. Same could be said, like, if you go to a Chinese restaurant, it's not going to be the same kind of thing that you would find, obviously, if you went to China. Not saying I would ever go, or I have been, but I imagine that's what it would be like. All right, so we're almost there. And this was a great price for the chicken. Now, if you have your own chickens on a farm, I mean, that's even better. Shout out to my friend Reese in Florida, who has his own chicken farm. That's really where, you're gonna get the best type of chicken. But yeah, we're almost done. And then I will show you the seasonings that I'm going to put onto all this chicken. So I'll see you in the next clip. Now, I'll be honest, seasoning is very interesting, because a lot of channels or people will tell you like season this or season that. I think, to be honest, it doesn't really matter as long as you like it. So first, you should always, I will say this, salt and pepper normally are kind of like, you just should be using that. And, like people are like, oh, only use this much or this. I think, again, the more that you cook, you'll be able just to eyeball it. So for some people, they'd be like, that's way too much salt. For others, they'd be like, that's not. So again, it's really all preference. I know some people can't have too much sodium, but again, the more seasoning you use, typically the more flavorful it's going to be. Now I know Natalie really likes garlic powder, so we'll use some of that. use some garlic powder, be kind of generous with it. And again, we're going to mix all this up. So that's why I'm kind of putting a lot on the top. I mean, onion powder is great. I think definitely oregano is a great addition. Oregano is pretty much used in the majority of Greek dishes. So, and I'm going to add some on for our salad as well. So we'll add some oregano on there. Paprika is a great spice to use if I have. Now this is smoked paprika, but we have McCormick's paprika, which is great. Paprika is a great spice. I find it hard sometimes to get all of it out. But yep, just throw a generous amount. You'd be wondering, why am I wearing gloves? I've just found it easier to wear gloves. Now, I don't always wear them. I personally prefer just use my hands, but sometimes a pain. I'm very big with like washing my hands after I cook. My dad was in the restaurant business, so you know it's kind of gross when people don't wash their hands when cooking food. I mean, I think that's kind of disgusting, but anyways, yep. So I'm just mixing this up. You know, get to hear that ASMR. Kind of gross. Maybe that was a little too close. But yep, the paprika adds that like really nice color to it, which is great. So, you know, that's awesome. And again, just really trying to mix it up the best that I can. It already smells pretty good. That, you know, the oregano just smells great. And I think maybe I'll add a little bit more. But again, with the gloves, it's like not, I don't have to wash my hands all over and do that whole thing. Which can just be a little bit like tedious and I don't know, just annoying. We're gonna have a quick chip, like I mentioned, have a little snack. Right. Add some salt, just a little bit more. A little more pepper. Do a little bit more oregano. I almost grabbed cinnamon. That would have been bad. We definitely do not want to put cinnamon in here. I mean, we could. But I don't think that would taste too good. So, what are we going to do now? We're going to bring this chicken over to the oven area. Now, when you're cooking these, I highly recommend to not cook it on a crazy high heat. I don't think that's the best way to cook it. I think sometimes people rush the heat and then it doesn't come out too good. So what I recommend is not to have it super high. You definitely should oil the pan. It all depends, you know, even if it's like a non-stick. You know, you just want to have that. So while that heats up, we're waiting for that to happen, we can actually move over here to the salad. Now, I know this is going to be Natalie's favorite part of this whole thing, which is great. You know, the whole point is when you cook food, you want people to enjoy it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this other cutting board. Don't want to use the dirty one. And what we're going to do is get a bowl, because obviously this is going to be a salad. So, I mean, you can really grab any size bowl. I'm just going to use this one. Just easy. And I have several knives in here. These knives are really good. They're by Cuisinart. They're like these colorful knives. They're just like really nice, and it was a great price for them. So, what are we going to cut up first? We're going to do the cucumber. Now, again, depending on how much you're cooking for, I mean, realistically, I don't think you're going to need an entire cucumber. You could, but I don't think it's super necessary to have an entire cucumber in there. But what I'm going to do is like rinse it off, but I'm going to use two, and for the pure fact that like these Greek salads don't really wilt like other like lettuce salads. So you can, like, if you make a big batch, you can use this for quite a bit of time, which is, I'm doing so bad with ripping this off. But you can, like, bring it to lunch, if you want to, I don't know, if you want to just have the salad, or maybe you want to add another protein to it. Like, that's the creativity of cooking, which I think is great. It's not always one solution to everything. People have been cooking for however many years, so yes. All right, so I'm gonna rinse this off. I see those weird videos all the time. I don't want to go into it, but it just doesn't look right. So I'm gonna show you while I'm cutting here. So I'm not by any means like a I don't cut the right way. If Gordon Ramsay was here, I don't think Gordon Ramsay would be like, "Oh my gosh, your cooking is like amazing, or your cutting skills are great." My main goal is just not to cut my fingers off. So if I can do that, it's fine with me. I definitely recommend with like vegetables, just always using a sharp knife, because especially when you have to cut with like tomatoes, you don't want to have a knife that is not sharp. So all I do is just with the cucumbers, I'm just pushing it, almost just using the knife as like a machine. It's a tool. All right, so I'm not gonna have these be the full size. You could do that. The reason why is I like making the salad like kind of mini. I think it tastes great. We'll try one of these. Mmm, yummy. There's nothing better than a fresh cucumber, if I'm being fully honest with you, but these are not the most fresh, which is fine. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, I like to just put my hand over, and I'm just gonna go around and just try to chop these into smaller pieces, because I think it makes for a better filling when we make these into like kind of like a wrap. So that's partially why I'm using 2 cucumbers. Is just because I don't know. I don't personally want to bite into a massive cucumber, but again, it's all preference based. If that's what you want to do, go for it. But we're gonna just cut this up. La la la. Oh, cut right into that other cucumber, but it'll be okay. We'll survive. All right, so we're slowly getting there. I'm sure there's a faster method, and in the comments, oh, you could have done that. I appreciate everyone's comment, I do. And I hope that you're not doing it to be not nice. But anyways, I think this is a good size for me, or for Natalie and I. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to grab the bowl. I want to do things smarter, right? Sometimes you gotta do things fast, but I want to do it smart. So I just put the bowl underneath. Sometimes with your hand, it just could be easier. So just gonna grab all that, and we're gonna put it into the bowl. I know that pan is starting to heat up, which I will get to, but so far that is what we got right there. All right, so we cut up all the cucumbers, and now we got the onion. So again, there are many different ways to cut an onion. There's just so many ways. Like I don't really need to get into all the different ways. Again, I think the whole point of it is depending on the size that you want. It's like, do you want to have them diced? What do you want to do with it? So. With these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off cut into the middle, have these 2 parts, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make a sliver on the inside, going to cut these on the top. And with onions, I've always found you need to be very careful when cutting onions, just with anything, but also onions in particular. It can just be can be dangerous. It's very slippery. There's pieces moving around everywhere. So I've just always found, just gotta be careful. And then what I like to do once I cut them up, again, just for the size, is cut them up together, cut them in. I mean, you can do all different types of things. I found that if you just go down like that, starting to have those tears in my eyes now, which is great. I always like crying when I'm cutting onions. But no, so just cutting them up, getting them to a size that is good. So I mean, that's only half an onion, which is great. And the thing that I love about these salads is like the color that you get from the salad. Like you get red, you have green, and I'm gonna add pepper. Not all Greek salads do pepper in it, but I think it's just a great mix. So we're gonna cut up another onion, right? So again, with onions, just please be careful, because it can be pretty dangerous. See like how my hands are slipping. Now obviously, if you went to culinary school, my cutting is not great, but it does the trick, It does the trick. Alright, I want to make sure my cutting boards are right there, right? You guys are probably like, oh my god, this guy is just so dangerous here. He's like, it's like Michael Scarn. He's a dangerous man. No, you guys probably don't. Maybe you know that reference. Comment down below if you know that reference, Michael Scarn. I'm sure some of you know it. Alright, so we have cut up an entire onion, right? Which is great. So now I'm gonna add this back into our salad bowl. If you drop some onion, it's okay. I definitely think, and Natalie can attest to this, I'm definitely not the cleanest cooker. I definitely get things all over the place, but my dishes do taste good, which is definitely very important. So, yeah. Alright, now, the tomato. Yes, plum tomatoes. What can I say about them? I've never been a tomato person, like, if I'm being fully honest with you. I just never found them to be, like, something that I really like. But I think they're okay. I mean, I don't know. Just never really I've never really been, like, a huge tomato person. Just never have been. It's not a big deal. Yep, so I'm just trying to make, I mean, you could almost call this diced, with just how small I'm cutting it, but, yep, so we're just gonna throw that in there. It almost makes me think like a guacamole, kind of, like the way that, the stuff that I'm adding, even though it's not, weird. Very thin piece of onion was on my finger. Right, so just really cutting it up. Okay, and the tomato, you're gonna get all the tomato like juice on the cutting board. So again, something that you can also do is with your knife, just move it. So like that. Put two of them on here. I'll spin a roux. There's probably all different ways you can cut it. But yeah, so hope everyone is doing good. Hope your families are staying healthy. You know, praying for you all. This crazy world. This crazy, crazy world. Yeah, I'm excited for this dish. This is gonna be yummy. I can tell. So we're adding all that in. And I love when I mix it up. That's a great part of this whole thing. Is when you get to mix it up. All right. Chop, chop, chop. Almost done with the tomatoes. Almost done. Don't like big tomato chunks, so I'm gonna cut that up. This is let me just show you this bowl so far. This is a bowl of champions right there. All right, so now we have this entire bowl of all this stuff, and now we get to mix it. Going to move the cutting board over here. Don't really need that right now. I'm gonna grab a spoon right here. I am gonna add some oregano to the top. Now I did forget to cut the olives, but I don't know. I guess we'll risk it. So before I put in the dressing, I'm going to add feta cheese. I love feta cheese, not because that I'm just Greek, but I mean feta cheese is just like amazing. I love feta. So good. Just what a good cheese. Like, it just tastes amazing. You can put in like however much you want. But yeah, feta's really, really good. It's not my favorite Greek cheese. I think my favorite is probably, could be Kasseri cheese, maybe. If I'm saying that right. But something just about cheese and olives is just so great. So yeah, these definitely are pitted, that makes me happy to see that. Just gonna dump these in. Now, do I have to do all of them? No, but I do think adding these olives really just makes this dish super yummy. So I'm just gonna use all of them. They were pretty, I don't want to say cheap, but it was a good price. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more feta. Why not? And yeah, so I'm gonna mix up this vinaigrette. Now, like I said previously, you are able to make your own vinaigrette, but I'm just doing this just for the sake of it. So I'm just gonna start off, not a crazy amount, but enough to be able to mix everything. So you're definitely gonna have to mix this several times to really just get everything in there. Just trying to mix it. Again, you can see all the different colors that are in here. It's great. The smell is amazing. Yeah. Just so good. Which is awesome. Smells delicious. Got heavy. Yeah, this is super fresh and it's going to be really tasty, and I think really anyone is going to like eating this salad. Even if you're not Greek, I think you'll just like the salad. So I'm just going to throw some oregano on there. And I'm going to put this aside because we are now going to get to the chicken. All right, so we got the oil in the pan, got my chicken, which is right here. So we're gonna start just putting it down. I like to just kind of like get the chicken in the oil. I don't like to just like throw it down. But again, that's partially why I didn't want to have to do super high heat with the chicken. So you don't want your chicken to be overcooked. We also want to make sure that it is cooked at the same time. And also, if you use smaller pieces, it's easier to fit all of it into one pan. So I'm just kind of moving it around. I probably will season it a little bit more once I put all of them in. Alright. Probably will be able to fit all of it into one. Alright, so just move it around. Just like that. And then I'm gonna put this into the sink. And then I'm just gonna grab some more seasoning. Just some more oregano. Alright, some more paprika. You want to be careful not to put too much. Yep, so this is going to be cooking, which is great. Now something you can do if you'd like is if you do want to add like French fries to your pita, or like, you know, because this is a gyro, and typically with gyros they'll add French fries into it. But if you want, you could do that like in an air fryer. So you have several options, but this is a really, I feel like, a pretty easy dish to cook. I mean, yes, there is some prep that comes with it, but like I feel like it's pretty easy to make, and it's a great dish maybe for your partner. I'm sure your family would really like it. So I'm going to come back once the chicken is pretty much fully cooked, and then we will assemble our sandwich and eat it. So I'll see you in the next clip. Alright, so how do you know when chicken is cooked? How do you know? There's a few things that I've learned from not cooking chicken fully to overcooking it. I think the best way to typically tell if your chicken is overcooked is honestly just grabbing a piece and cutting it. Now, I like to use scissors, kitchen scissors. Cut it open, maybe do like 2 or 3, and normally you'll be able to tell if it's cooked or not. Chicken is one of those things where like it's really good when it's tender, but if you overcook it, it's just way too chewy. Not great. We don't want super chewy chicken. The good thing about chicken thighs is it's more fatty, so you're not going to have as much of that chewiness that you would have. So what I like to do is grab a pair of scissors, any scissor, and with the tongs, grab them, cut it, and then that's how I know if it is fully cooked or not. Alright, so just to make sure that I'm not using way too much chicken in each wrap, I'm just going to be getting like a little cup and putting the chicken into there, so it's not going to be putting way too much in one of them and not in the other. So you don't have to do this, but just easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my wrap. I'm also going to grab the salad that I have, and I'm going to put some of the salad inside. Alright, so we got our little salad that is inside there. Got some olives. I'm going to throw some of the chicken in there. And the best thing to do is typically to mix it up. I kind of went too early, but you know, you can always like mix the chicken with the salad if that's easier. Because I don't want to just eat all chicken and then just have the salad be like all the way at the bottom. So you can do your best to, you know, mix it together. And then all I'm gonna do is just grab another part of the salad. And here you go. A chicken pita kind of wrap. So I'm going to eat this now. It definitely is going to get messy, but again, that's part of eating. So here we go. Wow. That was that's very good. Very, very good. Tastes super fresh. Oh, okay. So, if you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you want to see other dishes. Doesn't have to just be Greek. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.